Well, I came late, so I'm sure you talk about the situation in Israel. And today is a fast day. The rabbinical council in all over the world declared the day as a public fast day. So we are now fasting until the evening. It's horrible. It's ISIS. Hamas turned to be ISIS. I mean, the atrocity, the way they did it, I'm not so sure you're aware what happened. Cutting off baby's head in front of the mothers, and then raping the mother and killing the mother, and cutting off the breast. And the atrocities, what you see there in the pictures, it's unbelievable. It's inhuman. It's only you can compare it to either the Nazis, but ISIS is a better comparison because ideologically, the Hamas is equal to ISIS. It's a Muslim Brotherhood, very fanatic form of Islam. And what happened with the ISIS in Al Qaeda? That's what we see in Hamas. You cannot talk to them. There is no way you can communicate with them. They are brainwashed, and simply they are up to kill you. Not only Israelis, but Christians. If they could kill all the world. It's ISIS, disguised in the form of a Hamas. So that's what turned to be the case, which was surprising Israel. Nobody saw them in such a light. So the struggle is not for Palestine. It's not for this or that. The struggle is for Islam, for the way they don't want to see any infidel, especially Jews. So that's the case. And all the world should support them the way we supported ISIS, because their goal is not only Israel. The goal is the same fanatic, terrible Satan. Absolutely evil. Burn families alive. They took 5-6 families. They put it in one wooden warehouse, and they turned the whole warehouse to fire. So people were burned to life. You can see the ashes on the ground, and the smoke is still coming up. Alive. It's unbelievable. So it's way beyond what you would you expect from the struggle about Palestine, 2 state, 1 state, give them partial authority, full authority. All that is beyond politics. It's sheer evil. And that's not surprised everyone. Anyhow, let's go to the wonderful chapter today, Genesis. I put this background on purpose because we are going to talk about creation. So let's start. Who is going to volunteer to read? Start reading. Let's do what we usually do. Let's read it first, so everyone will understand what we are talking about. Then we'll discuss it verse by verse. So who will volunteer to read from chapter 1, verse 1, to read the story? Anybody volunteering to read the story?
I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just the first verse or the whole chapter?
Well, up to not the whole chapter. Yeah, it's up to the end of 6th day.
The end of what, sir?
Day 6. It's not long. It's only two pages long.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In the beginning of God's creating the heavens and the earth, when the earth was astonishingly empty, with darkness upon the surface of the deep, and the divine presence hovered upon the surface of the waters, God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated between the light and the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning one day. God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it separate between water and water." So God made the firmament and separated between the waters that were beneath the firmament and the waters that were above the firmament. And it was so. God called the firmament heaven, and there was evening and there was morning, a second day. God said, "Let the waters beneath the heaven be gathered into one area, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called to the dry land earth, and to the gathering of waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, herbage yielding seed, fruit trees yielding fruit, each after its kind, containing its own seed on the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth vegetation, herbage yielding seed after its kind, and trees yielding fruit, each containing its seed after its kind. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening and there was morning, a third day. God said, "Let there be luminaries in the firmament of the heaven to separate between the day and the night. And they shall serve as signs and for festivals and for days and years. And they shall serve as luminaries in the firmament of the heaven to shine upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great luminaries, the great luminary to dominate the day, and the lesser luminary to dominate the night, and the stars. And God set in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, to dominate by day and by night, and to separate between the light and the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. God said, "Let the waters with teeming living creatures and fowl that fly about over the earth across the expanse of the heavens." And God created the great sea giants and every living being that creeps, with which the waters teemed after their kinds, and all winged fowl of every kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas. But the fowl shall increase on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, a fifth day. God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures, each according to its kind, animal and creeping thing, and beast of the land, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, and the animal according to its kind, and every creeping being of the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. They shall rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and over the animal, the whole earth, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created man in his image, in the image of God. He created him, male and female, he created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, the bird of the sky, and every living thing that moves on the earth." God said, "Behold, I have given to you all herbage yielding seed that is on the surface of the entire earth, and every tree that has seed yielding fruit. It shall be yours for food. And to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the sky, and to everything that moves on the earth, within which there is a living soul, every green herb is for food. And it was so. And God saw all that he had made. And behold, it was good. It was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day.
All right, so this is the sixth day. Then follow the Sabbath. And then maybe one more verse, chapter 2, verse 4. Would you read? Verse 4, chapter 2.
So, thus the heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. By the seventh day, God completed his work that he had done, and he abstained on the seventh day from all his work that he had done. God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because on it he sustained from all his work that God created to make.
Actually, I asked you to read verse 4. Let's go to verse 4.
These are the products of the heaven and the earth when they were created on the day that Hashem, God, made earth and heaven.
Okay. So this is the story of creation that somehow it appeared at the beginning of the 5 books of Moses. So surprisingly, it doesn't start with any talk about Shekhinah, Messiah, and of life. It simply tells us history of the world. So, but it presents God. Let's say God. Let's go to chapter 2, to the beginning. He says that at the beginning of the story, you read it in English, God created heaven and earth. The Hebrew is not God. There is no such word as God. It's Elohim. And a simple explanation, a simple meaning of Elohim is judge. Open up a vocabulary. And judge made it several times in the Bible. It appears even to human judge. So Elokim is judge. So the top of the Torah, number one message of the Torah is, you know why you are here for? You know what the universe is for? Because the judge created it. It doesn't say about love, about compassion. I hear it all the time. Oh, the universe was created because God would want to shower love on us. Here it says, God Elokim created the world to stand judgment, which means you and anybody else, even a mosquito, has some responsibility to stand in judgment. That's the message of the Torah. Before we talk about mercy, before we talk anything else, first of all, first message is that you are here because the attribute of judgment was created, the word to stand judgment, to stand justice. So that's the message of the Torah. It says also, Bereshit, at the beginning. Well, there is a hint here that it is only in the beginning that was like that. Rashi said it. In the beginning, the world was created by the attribute of justice, to stand judgment, only judgment. But this was only the beginning. Later on, at the end of the chapter, another attribute step in. That's the attribute of mercy. We said that Rashi. So at the beginning, the story is like this. At the beginning, the infinite creator. We're talking about Elokim, judge, Elokim and YHVH, the attribute, the only attribute. The real creator is beyond our understanding. It has no name because no name contains it. The moment you put name on the infinite creator, you limit it, you describe it, and it's beyond description. So the Torah tells you the infinite, nameless Creator, at the time of, at the beginning of our universe, he decided, in his wisdom, he decided to create this universe while sitting on a throne of a judge justice. Or he wore it, if you want, he wore a hat of a judge. That's why he created the universe, to stand justice. And then Rashi says, apparently it happened many times before, Rashi said. But this time, the infinite Creator wanted the universe not to dissolve itself at the end, because Elokim, if the world is created only by the harsh attribute of justice, it will not last long. Especially when they create Adam. When they come to Adam, creature with freedom of choice and all the passion and desire, most likely we won't stand the attribute of justice alone. We will fail. We will be eliminated. So Elokim in his wisdom knew that. So this time, when he planned to create Adam, full of desires and prone to fail, so Elokim in his wisdom decided to have mercy coming and introduced into the court, into the heavenly court. So at the beginning, it was only Elokim, so to speak. But his name appeared 32 times, which is Lev, 32 is Lamed Bet, and Lev, 32 Lev is heart. So Elokim is the heart of nature. He created it to stand harsh judgment, and but understanding that this time he's going to create also an Adam. So before creating Adam, he spoke in plural, and he said, "Let us." He invited another attribute of person, and together they created the universe. How do I know? How does he know that? The last look at the last verse that we read, chapter 2, verse 4, the last one. He says, these are the history of heaven and earth, when they were recreated on a day that Hashem Elokim, this is here is another attribute appearing in the text. Hashem, the mercy, Elokim, together. So at the beginning it was only Elokim. Now the two attributes. So the story is that Elokim invited her to join, to create, because otherwise mankind will not stand the harsh judgment. So talking about our focus today is what the Torah, following the Torah, our focus is strictly on Elokim. We're not talking about the mercy, we're not talking about the Shekhinah, that's the end of the story. The Torah begins in its wisdom focusing on Elokim, on the harsh judgment, the one who asks us to be responsible. So what is a characteristic of Elokim? He is a judge. But for the chapter, from this chapter, I can derive some feature of Elokim. I know that he is a builder. He built the universe in 6 days, or 6 story, a house of 6th floor, one on top of the other. At the end of each floor, And at the end of each day, he come and judge the passing day, if it's good or not. So right now, I already talk about two features of Elokim. He's a builder. He built a house, nature of the 6 days. And he's also a judge because Torah says at the end of this every day, beside day 2, at the end of each day, he comes and checks to see the floor, if it's good or not. And his judgment is like a builder. When he builds nature, there is no moral value here. He judges to see if the poles are strong, if I can put another floor on top of the previous one. So, inferring that if creature is not capable of entering the next day, he will be eliminated. Because one feature of Elokim is absolute justice with no mercy. So it's like a scaffold. If you build the dinosaurs, and at one point they are not needed anymore, they are gone without any mercy because they are not needed anymore. There will be hindrance to the next step, which is Adam. We cannot live side by side like dinosaurs. So his wisdom here and the judgment here is totally understood as a builder. When it comes to us, we also judge to see if we are good enough to support the next day. What is the next day? The Sabbath. God, I just, in few words, I told you almost everything what the Torah is going to tell you. That we are here by Elokim. Elokim judge us as a builder, and his intention is to enter the Sabbath. He longs to see the Sabbath, and we are here born right before the Sabbath, and like any other creature, like the dinosaurs, he will judge us if we are capable of entering the Sabbath. We are good. We are very good. If not, we are eliminated. Like all the other creatures that been here before, and they were eliminated because they serve the duties. Once they are not needed anymore in a scale of evolution, they are gone. Gone without a flick of an eye, because in the eyes of them, in the eyes of their merciless, harsh judgment, he creates life and he can take life away. Go and argue with him, because he's a builder and a judge. But the judgment, the yardstick, is the yardstick of a builder. So we understand now what Elokim is all about. And Elokim also, so he's a builder, he's a judge, using absolute justice. He pays attention to no other argument. No moral argument, no mercy, no this and that. You did it. If you sin, if you don't fulfill your duty, you're gone. Or at one time, if you're not efficient anymore, you're not important for my plan, you will be gone. That's Elokim. Elokim is still around. They're still under some judgment. But in the story, we know that finally he actually stepped down from his absolute authority, and he agreed to listen to the attribute of mercy. Attribute of mercy will introduce another whole aspect to creation and to us. That's the end of the story. But the beginning is that's what happened. So Elokim, now Moses go on and tell us a story about creation, the 6th day. And why does it do it? Why do we need to know that? The story of what happened the first day, second day. Many commentaries ask it. Why the Torah is all about moral, to keep morality, to keep the family life, to worship Hashem, and why do we need this story? And one more thing, one of the features of Elokim is truthful. His signature is emet, truthful. Truthful. Is absolute justice. Justice follow the truth. Absolute truth. You did it or you didn't do it. Absolute truth. So if his name appears 32 times in the story of creation, we see it as a 32 signature of truthfulness. Every time you see Elokim in the text here, the Rabbi said, every time, it's a signature of truth. So when day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, what happened here is absolute truth. If you find it's not true, then you can take the Bible and throw it away. The story of creation is absolute, must be absolute truth. It's a challenge. How do I know that what day 1, day 2, what will happen? I mean, until for centuries, we didn't know that. One rabbi said, the story is allegorically, the creature here are heavenly beasts, and light is a spiritual light, the light of menorah, the light of the Torah, the light of the... it's all are trying to explanation of something that the rabbi really didn't know. He didn't know if the story is true or not. So they tried to understand it in what they understood as a metaphor for all kinds of spiritual things, spiritual beasts, and so on. But we in the 21st century happened to suddenly, almost unexpectedly, suddenly we can understand, only we, the first time in 3,500 years, that we can look at the story and say, wow, Moses, 3,500 years ago, tell us what we know today from science. The story is truthful to the minuta. The whole story of evolution is here. So it's a mind-boggling. So why? So it looked like that Moses 3,500 years ago was aiming to the generation that will doubt his revelation, and the generation will come and say, "Oh, the Torah is just imagination. It's some priest in the 8th century wrote it. It was a compilation of all kind of stories, and they throw it away as a just myth, Bronze Age myth. Nobody until now really pay attention to the story as a factual. It's a mystical. They put it in a category of other mythical stories in Moses' time. But to us, suddenly, and we are the first time we can say that the story is amazingly true. So you know what happened to I tell you what happened to me. I grew up in such a religious home, and of course, in high school, you ask questions. Your rabbi, the rabbi scratch your head, but she said, leave this question about Genesis alone. This is a famous rabbi, the truth, and it's mythical. Once you will grow up, you understand it. That's how we were taught. Nobody addressed the self-creation seriously. Well, time passed by. I read tons of rabbinical literature. I'm familiar with Kabbalah. I'm familiar with it. I never found a good explanation to the story of Genesis. So if some rabbi knows the mythical understanding of that, well, he knows it, but nobody else. So I grew up in understanding that what we were told to focus on the Torah. Okay, the Torah is all about justice and be compassionate and follow the Torah, abide by the law, and this and that. But we passed the story of Genesis like well, this is one story there that's not understood. But when you talk about Shekhinah, it's all nice story about the spiritual light. It's a nice story. It makes a beautiful depiction of it, but it sounds like another story. Shekhinah into our heart, here and there, all kind of story. But should it affect my personal life? I don't know. I didn't feel it like this. So you can study the Talmud, you can study Kabbalah. It's nice to know, but does it really affect my life? Until finally I came to this chapter and realized what we are talking about. Suddenly it came down to earth. Suddenly it brought the whole Torah into something that is tangible. It's true. It's really true. It's true that God created as a judge. It's true that the Shekhinah is there. What Moses is saying is true. Why? Because this is why I wrote the chapter. To realize us, that we will realize how truthful it is. I tell you, when people come to, let's say a witness come to you, you sit there and a person comes to you and tell you a story about something important that he saw. So it's a very harsh story, and you listen. But then you ask yourself, who is this guy? Does he tell me the truth or not? So you ask his background. You ask him, where are you coming from? And he says, I came from this place, I saw it. So you say, then you ask, you really saw it? Can you describe for me the detail of the place that you saw? And he said, yeah, I can describe to you, but then you go into detail. That's how actually the rabbinical court assessed the witnesses. The witness says, I saw the killer coming here and there, from that house, and he did this. Oh, you saw him? Can you describe the house? Can you describe the street? Was it a tree there? So you ask a real question to the witness to build your confidence in it. And that's exactly what Moses is doing here. He described to us our environment in such a truthful way, like a witness. He said, let me tell you. You are here. I'm going to tell you something you can check one day and see if it's true or not. Once you find out it's true, then listen. God is here watching you for judgment. Yes, they have a heavenly court. They are judging you. There is judgment on this life. There is judgment on next life. I've got to tell you, but first of all, read it, understand it, and once you understand it, and have confidence in me, a real confidence, not a believe, hallelujah, a real tangible confidence, a miracle in my hand. You know, when Moses says day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, 6, it's exactly what happened. And there is no way he could know it or by himself 3,500 years ago when he grew up in Pharaoh's home, because we know what Pharaoh's home told him. We know what the Greek told him. We know he was raised in the house of Pharaoh. He probably met delegation from Greece, from Babylon. He knew everything. Being raised in Pharaoh's home, wow, delegation from all over the world, teacher from all over, he knew everything. But whatever he knew, whatever they told him about creation has nothing to do with this story. They're all mythical stories full of sexual perversions and rivalry between God. Ugly story, foolish story, if you read it. There is no comparison between them and science, not at all. In fact, they don't even recognize days or stages. They don't even recognize any order in the creation. Creation just mishmash of nothing. It's all mythical. Here come Moses in the same period and tell you a story that only I, 3,500 years later, in my science, I not mean mine, in our generation science, we stand in awe. Because, you know, when I saw History Channel report, and he is bragging that he's going to tell us a story about creation, that this, he said, you know, for thousands of years, people believe that the world was created 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago, in 1 week. But we are going to tell you the true story. That is like bragging at the beginning of the video. Now we're going to tell you the full story. And I sit there before the convention in Dallas there one day. I was due to give a class next week. And I listened to what he's saying, and I said, am I hearing right? What he is saying is exactly what Moses is saying. Let's see. The question is a day. Before we analyze the stages here, but the Torah says day. And verse 5, and Elokim created he created light and light and darkness, and there was water, very primitive element, and then it was day 1. He doesn't say day 1. He says 1 day. And about 1,000 years ago, people actually, rabbinical authorities already noticed that he says, on day 2, he says, day 2, or day 3, day 4, in the right numerical order. But here he says, one day, not day 1, but 1 day. So the Torah defining us, for us, how long was 1 day? 1 day, it was a time. 1 day of creation is a time from the beginning until there was light and and Earth more often in space. It could take a billion of years. That's what the Torah call a day of creation, capital D. So now we understand that day means actually day one cannot be the day our day because the moon and the sun were seen only on day 4. So day one, of course, has nothing to do with the sun and the moon. What about the 5,000? So first of all, the length of the creation, how long creation took. There is a calculation done by a Kabbalistic authority, transmitted to us. It actually speaks about 2.1 billion years, something like that. And you multiply it by 6, so you come to 13 point something, very close to 13.8 billion years to the sciences. This was written in the 10th century already by Rabbi Abulafia. And he just recorded what he received from his own rabbi. So the length of creation is an average day of creation. Average was 2.1 based on some Kabbalistic calculation. And finally, total of 13.1 billion years. So it was not our week. It was a week, 6 days, a 6 period. And so you ask yourself, so the people who usually say that the universe was created 5,000 years ago, the calculation 5,000 come from, if you calculate it from Abel killing Cain killing Abel. From that point, it's 5,000 something. But it's not including the story of creation. Story of creation is much longer. And it's a truthful story. It's a truthful story to the detail, to the new detail. I will put a class. I know that it's not impressive. What I'm saying is not impressive enough. I want you to experience. I want you to see it in your own eyes. So I'm going to put a class that I will take a few cutting from the History Channel video, a few clips, and I will show it on the class, and I will compare what the clip says to what the Torah says here. You need to see it. You need to see the earth covered with water, which is day 2. You need to see the reactivity on a volcano reactivity in the ground that formed with the granite, which formed the dry land, and Rodinia, the first continent, which was bereft of any life. And the Torah says here, day 3, the Elokim separated dry land from the water without any reference to life. So and then you need to see how this Rodinia, suddenly tiny creature, monocellular creature came. No one know where they came from. They're already equipped with DNA, RNA. They settle here as a tiny creature on a granite, and they start growing vegetation. Day 3 is here. Vegetation, no mobile life. And Earth stabilizes. Day 4, seasons, and then fish in the water. Who told Moses that the first creatures were in the water? Fish. What we call Cambrian era, in Cambrian. It's again, when I'm saying it, you may not be impressed, but when you see it in the video, and you realize what he's saying is really fit what Moses is saying, You stand in awe. After fish came the bird to catch other fish in the water. And then amphibian, in that order. And that's day 5, swarms. And then finally, day 6, cattle-like fat creatures, huge. After them came the beasts, the dinosaurs, to eat them. And then finally, the disaster that killed them all. And then Adam. It's fascinating. I think one of the most important, when you do the comparison like this, at the end of this day, each day that says here, Elokim saw that it was good. We understand it. Elokim said it was good. It was a judgment. And creatures were not good, were eliminated. How they were eliminated? It's unbelievable that the History Channel actually tell you that after each day, each they call it the era. They don't even put a number, but actually there are six of them. So the end of each era, there's a catastrophe. The catastrophe eliminated most of the vegetation on day 3. The catastrophe eliminated all vegetation on day 4. The catastrophe eliminated most of creatures on day 5. Unbelievable. And each time there was a catastrophe at the right point. Getting rid of the old creature and giving room to new, more sophisticated creatures to come. Wisdom of Elokim, not showing no mercy. And it's all there on the History Channel video. So why I'm saying it? Because, of course, it's now we can, before we talk about mercy and compassion and Shekhinah and the Messiah, we need to realize that the Torah is truthful. What Moses is going to tell us is not just a story that the priest in the 8th century concocted in Jerusalem. I want to know, if the priest concocted it, how do they know it? How could they tell such a story? Priest in Jerusalem on their own to tell you such a story that we can verify by our science? So whoever tell you that the story is written by this one or this one, or compiled with all kind of mysterious sources that we don't know, I would like to know who told him, who could write such a story. Only one guy, only a revelation can only a person who experiences a revelation can write such a story. So now, as a witness that come to you and his testimony, and he first tell you know what, before you listen to me, the witness says to you, you are the judge. And the witness come to you and he says, man, let me tell you, what I saw is precise. I can tell you exactly the environment. I can tell you where it happened. I can tell this is my name. I know things that nobody else knows. You can check. Because I was there, I know exactly what happened. And since I'm telling this, you can find out that I'm telling you the truth. Now I'm going to tell you what I want to tell you. So the story of Genesis is exactly that declaration. Listen, mankind, I'm going to tell you a fascinating story that your future depends on it. It's not a simple story. It's a story you are moving toward the Sabbath. You are being judged. You need to do this and that. Otherwise, you need to overcome your bloodshed. You need to follow Noah's law. You need to follow the law. Before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you something that you first listen to see. I'm telling you the truth. You sit here, I can tell you the environment where you live. You may not know it, but I can tell you what happened here before. One day you understand that what I'm telling you is true. It looks like I believe is speaking to us, to our generation. For some reason, everywhere I look around, I look to me time and again that we in this 10th century, we are now are the target of the Torah. The revival for Noahide movement. Suddenly, people come from all over recognizing the Torah. The bloodshed that's going around. We spoke about the rainbow covenant. It's all based on prevention of bloodshed. So that's Noahide message to the world. The whole rainbow covenant is based on prevention of bloodshed. That's why we are not, number 7 commandment of Noah is not to eat blood, not to eat limb torn from animal, because you want to overcome your bloodthirsty heart. You want to eradicate bloodshed. That's the essence of Noahide movement. And it came to us in this century, in our time. Because you know what? The Holocaust is waiting for us. Imagine if Iran bomb Israel now in an atomic bomb. Or imagine if Hezbollah start to shower on Israel tons and tons of missiles that can destroy Tel Aviv in a day. You know what will happen. Israel will revenge with an atomic bomb on Lebanon. Atomic bomb on Iran. And if Iran get the bomb first, she might use it. They may use it because of this fanatic belief. They are no different than ISIS. They don't care if they are being killed, as long as they kill the infidel. And that's such mentality. Give them an atomic bomb, and you know what kind of bloodshed we will see today? And it can happen every day. Bloodshed. Everything else is pale to not compared to all the wars in the world. Will not come up to such bloodshed that can face. So here are the message of Noahide. So how do I know that Noahide is a true message? How Noahide can stand on the ground speaking for the truth? Because now we know. The Bible, we know. Noahide knows that this story of Genesis is a truthful story by the letters, literally. There is no superfluous word here. Every word here fits the sign. It's a truthful story, the most truthful, precise. We talk about Elokim. Elokim judgment is precise, measure for measure. One of characteristics of Elokim is precise. You did this, I will pay you precisely, in absolute justice. Precision, truthful, the signature of signature is right there in the story. Precision, and no superfluous word. Every day, every word, every little detail is exactly what happened. So the witness tell you, listen, I saw it, I know it. Now you know that I'm telling you the truth. And Moses is speaking to us. Be careful. If you don't listen to me, if you don't follow my Torah, if you don't, the Torah here is for mankind. It's not for just Jews. Then you end up, God forbid, with another flood. flood of fire, not necessarily water. I know that I just scratched the surface. This chapter 1 is unbelievable, beautiful, and so meaningful. And we talk only at the beginning. At the beginning, the Torah says, at the beginning, God, Elokim, the infinite creator, sat on the throne of a judgment. But he wanted to give us a way out. So he invited also merciful Shekhinah to stand here. So we need to attract her more. The Shekhinah is here, Elokim is here, whether we invite him or not. He is here. He created us, he created nature in his ways, and he is here forever. Shekhinah is not like this. The Shekhinah is here only if we invite her. She may be here underneath, strong. Tuchel created the recreated the world, but she is hidden. And she tried to go. She's not. This is not her universe. She wants to go back to the Sabbath where she came from. So we need to attract her. It's up to us. And that's the whole Torah. The whole Torah is to keep her to keep her here, so that we can change, and our future will change. That's the only way. Only way. Otherwise, you end up like ISIS, merciless killers. This is an example how mankind can turn without any mercy. They have no Shekhinah in their heart. Beheading children and raping the mother, and then cutting off the breast and burn people alive. They are merciless killers. And they have no meaning, they have no idea what the Shekhinah is all about. Men can end up like this. Unless at least we, mankind, the rest of the world, including some good Muslims. Not all Muslims are like that. There are many Muslims that I know personally. Perfect human being. My own father was operated by the best surgeon in Tel Aviv, was a Muslim. Absolutely nice guy. And many others. Of course, not all Muslims are like this. That is talking about a fanatic ideology, ISIS. As Americans, we know what ISIS is. Now Israel is facing that. All right. Any question for me?